we good? We good? 30, nice. Check YouTube. We chillin'. Alright, good morning guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Today is January 3rd, 2025. And Happy New Year's to anybody that hasn't been here. But yeah, it's pretty good day. So coming into this morning here on NQ, we have no daily buys. So this daily candle, I have no idea where prices wants to do, right? We just completed a higher time frame objective. I believe on last live stream, I was talking to you guys about how I was anticipating for this week or this monthly candle's low to be taken, and we did just that yesterday. I wasn't anticipating for us to take out previous month's low yesterday, but I guess it makes sense. We had a red photo news yesterday, so it could have happened. Coming into today, we do have one red photo news here, ISM manufacturing PMI, being released at 10 a.m. Eastern time, so that could bring us some volatility. But yeah, coming into today, I don't necessarily have a bias. And let us see if we have any higher time frame objectives here on the lower time frame. So it appears that we're most likely going to have no bias as of right now. So like I said, on the daily time frame, there's no bias here coming into today. There's no objective, right? Because like I said, we have already taken out previous month's low yesterday, and with the way we closed here on this daily candle, I'm not really anticipating much. ICT states that after a higher time frame objective does get completed, you would want to wait for more time and more structure to create itself, and then you can try to find some setups. But as of right now, no bias. I can rely on, however, so depending on how we close here on the 4-hour candle, so depending on how we close here on this candle and this candle, would tell me, or will give me a intraday bias, will give me a morning objective, right? So if we were to close here on this 8-hour candle and this 4-hour candle right now, I can anticipate for that 4-hour high to be taken and that 8-hour high to be taken. But we have about 25 minutes or so left until we close on those respective time frames, so let's just wait. Yeah, I really was not anticipating for us to take out previous month's low yesterday here, but we have to pivot. And yeah, this sell-off here was not anticipating this move here. Very interesting that we did that yesterday, because I would have anticipated that next week would have been when we would want to complete that objective, but there we are. So now I don't really know. One thing that I am looking out for is, so there's a dealing range between this swing high and this swing low, and I believe that's a 12. Is that a 12-hour? No, that's not a 12-hour. So that's just a 4-hour dealing range. So swing high to swing low, and that's actually the weekly range as well. There is equilibrium between a swing high and swing low, right? You draw up discount level, or I'm sorry, you draw up the dealing range, and from that dealing range you can get the OTE, and then you can get the equilibrium, which separates premium and discount. And when do you want to be a buyer? You want to be a buyer below opening price, or you want to be a buyer in discount. And in this case, based on this little dealing range that we have here, discount is within, make this green, discount is within that green box, right? So anywhere prices is within this green box is considered discount, based on that dealing range at least, right? And look at how perfect price is, right? Look how clean we nipped that. This is the I want to draw your attention to this right here. Let me make it a little bit bolder as well, or larger, so you guys can see. But no, look at that, and look at how we ticked. Look at this swing high right here, and look at that. We went above that 0.5 equilibrium level by just a little bit, or actually we didn't even go above it. But yeah, that's algorithmic right there, right? And that's just something that I just want to draw your attention to. So whenever I want to be a buyer, I do want to be a buyer within that green box. So now that we have completed the objective for that dealing range, at least we have retraced back inside the premium level. I don't want to force that objective anymore. That objective has been completed, right? There's no reason for me to be a part of this or try to find anything within that anymore. And I'm going to draw a red box to indicate discount or premium. So you want to be a seller within the red box, and you want to be a buyer within the green box, essentially. And how I got those boxes is I got this swing high, drew it to the swing low. You get a dealing range, and a dealing range, there's components to a dealing range, and one of the components is equilibrium. And equilibrium, like I said, separates discount and premium. Alright, and if we take out previous day high, we no longer have a bearish SMT right here, right? So let's see what the weekly profile is. This is Monday, so it appears that we created the high of the week here on Monday, and we just began to sell off coming into Monday, and then we began to continue to sell off Tuesday, and then we sold off on Thursday. We took out previous month's low, and here coming to here on Friday, it appears that this morning here, we could be bullish for the morning objective, but like I said, I want to wait and really confirm that with how we close here on the 4-hour candle and the 8-hour candle. Depending on how those candles close will give me my morning objective. But one thing that I do want to draw your attention to is notice how in this leg lower, how we traded back and forth, right? It's a lot of sloppy price action, right? There's not a clear displacement. There's not willingness to continue lower here. That's what I'm like, okay, this is interesting, because we didn't create displacement here on this leg lower. It's telling me that, hey, we might not continue lower now, or we're going to end up taking out all of those liquidities that we created, all of those swing highs that we created, and turn it into liquidity, and possibly end up rebalancing this inefficiency up here. But yeah, that's going to be my that would be what I would be looking for coming into today is, I mean, really nothing, to be honest. One thing that I did draw up yesterday was TGIF. So the weekly dealing range, right? So remember what I said about Monday selling off, Tuesday selling off, and then Thursday selling off? Because we expanded lower, it was a slow expansion, but an expansion nevertheless. We created the opening price here on Sunday, we manipulated higher on Monday, and then we began to sell off Monday, and then Tuesday we began to sell off, and then Thursday we began to continue to sell off. After that expansion lower, right, usually prices wants to close within the 0.2 to 0.3 of that weekly candles range, which is essentially what a TGIF setup is. And you want to see prices close within this shaded box here. So you want to see prices close within that blue shaded box if we're going to complete the TGIF setup. But here right now prices says otherwise. We've completely traded past the equilibrium level, and we're well in premium right now, within this specific dealing range, right? So we have completed that dealing range's objective. There is however another dealing range from this daily swing high to this daily swing low. That would be considered a daily dealing range. And let's see if we can get OTE level here. So that's the OTE level, and the discount level and premium as well. So equilibrium 0.2 to 0.79 is the OTE. So I have that within a green little box right there. Let me just change that, say as OTE. Alright, there we go. And like I said before, within that dealing range, we have an equilibrium level. So I mean, if we continue to see bullish prices here coming into this morning, a retracement back into the equilibrium level of that specific dealing range could be an objective, but we have to see willingness to continue higher here. That's pretty much all I have for this morning. I don't really have a bias. Like I said, my monthly objective has been completed. There is, however, so on ES, we have yet to take out previous month's low. There's a large, not large, but there is an SMT here between NQ and ES. So NQ took out previous month's low, ES didn't. That's something that you would want to that's not, there was some manipulation there. So we could, however, end up taking out previous month's low next week if we start to see bearish price action, right? Same thing here on ES. Notice how we had this slow grind lower, right? It's a lot of back and forth price action, something that you don't want to be in. So here this week it was just telling me here that we're not willing to take out previous month's low. That's what I thought too on the NQ, because of the back and forth action. I wasn't anticipating for us to take out previous month's low on NQ, but I mean, we ended up taking it, and there was manipulation. So now there is either two things that we could do here. So this could end up being the reversal to attack previous month's high, or this, I mean, we could continue to go lower here next week, but I would wait for more structure to really stick to a bias. But as of right now, no daily bias here coming into today. Like I said before, and the morning objective will be given to me after we close here on the 4-hour candle and the 8-hour candle. So let's see what we are looking like here on the 15-minute chart. There that is. Very, very interesting. So like I said before, if we do end up taking out previous day high, that could be something that you do want to look out for, because that means we no longer have SMTs between the markets. Alright. So I'm gonna go onto my I'm gonna go into my trading journal to go over some of the positives and negatives with you guys. But yeah, how was you guys this week? Did you guys enjoy New Year's, and did you guys have a good, holiday? Hopefully you guys did. The first day of the year, I did end up going on a hike because we didn't trade on Wednesday, so it allowed me to go hiking instead of being on the charts, because there's no reason to be on the charts. And I brought my Polaroid, and I was able to take this picture right here. So see it? Yeah. I do want to start taking more pictures with the Polaroid. I feel like that's something that I haven't really used to its maximum potential. Last year I bought it, and I bought it I think 2023, and I only took a handful of Polaroids. But I'm gonna start wherever I go. I'm gonna bring that thing along with me, and I'm gonna take pictures like these. And I have like a whole, like, let me see if I can show you guys, but I have a whole like Polaroid wall here, if you guys can see it. But there's like every one that is special to me there, and it's pretty cool. And then I have a Zendaya poster that was gifted to me for Christmas, and here are, you guys can see it, but those are, I have a vision board right next to me as well. And yeah, put this back to where it's supposed to be. I don't want to mess with the webcam too much. Is that good? I think that's fine. Excuse me, I just like burped all over the camera. Okay, let's go on to my pros and cons here from last week. So the one trade that I took last week, right, I was able to explain thoroughly, and I was able to follow my strategy, and it had every single component that I am looking for it to be an A+ model. So the 3 checkpoints that I look for are understanding what the higher time frame order flow is, right? So I'm able to explain why we should go lower or go higher depending on the direction of the trade. I have a model, and I have an entry pattern. So this is the trade that I took last week. These are 4-hour candles. However, these candles right here, these bigger candles, relative in size here, is the daily chart, right? It's an indicator, but in this case, on the daily time frame, prices is telling me that we could end up rebalancing that daily inefficiency, right? That would be my objective here coming into today, right? Is to rebalance this daily inefficiency, at least for this time, or at least for this trade, right? So coming into intraday charts, right, to try to find a model, I wasn't given a model to I guess rebalance the inefficiency. So we did end up taking out previous day low without me, so I had to sit on my hands because a model didn't present itself. However, after we take out previous day low, after we complete the daily objective, I have to pivot. So I can't rely on the daily time frame anymore for a bias, right? For a directional bias, I have to go on to maybe the 4-hour time frame, the 6-hour time frame, the 8-hour time frame, or 10-hour time frame for an intraday bias. So for this specific trade, I relied on the 6-hour time frame, right? So after every single candle's closure, there will be some sort of objective that candle or that next candle has. And in this case, after we close here on this 6-hour candle, I can anticipate that this 6-hour candle's low will be taken, right? So my higher time frame order flow is for us to maintain bearishness and for us to take out the 6-hour low. And my model here, my model is based on this hourly candle. So this hourly candle is suggesting lower prices, right? It suggests that, like I said, every single candle has an objective of its own. So this hourly candle is suggesting that the hourly low will be taken. But notice how the hourly low and the 6-hour low are two completely different lows. This would be considered an expansion model because I'm taking my model based on the hourly time frame. After we take out the hourly low, we should expand lower, continue lower to attack 6-hour low. So I'm aligning the lower time frame model here, and in this case it's the hourly model with the higher time frame order flow, which is the 6-hour candle. And whenever I went onto the lower time frames, I noticed, okay, the 15-minute low, the 30-minute low, and the hourly low are the same respective lows, right? So this is an idea called scope. Because the 15-minute low is the same low as the hourly low, and notice how my original model here was on the hourly time frame, but because the 15-minute low is the same low as the hourly low, I am able to take it on. I can switch not switch, but apply the same concept but to the 15-minute time frame, right? So instead, using the hourly candle as my model, I use the 15-minute model. If I were to use the hourly model, it would have been something like, hey, we should complete this objective within the next hourly, or within the next hour, right? But because I'm taking it on the 15-minute, the 15-minute is telling me that, hey, we're gonna focus in, we're gonna scope into these within this time frame, and we should complete the objective within the next 15-minute instead of the next hourly, or instead of the next hour. So like I said, now my model now is based on the 15-minute time frame. I would go on to maybe the 5-minute time frame, the 4-minute time frame, the 3-minute, or the 2-minute, or the 1-minute for an entry pattern, because my model is on the 15-minute time frame, right? So here on the 1-minute time frame, there is an entry pattern, there is a fair value gap, and after prices closes below this 1-minute fair value gap, I take my entry, and I'm basically just targeting. My first target here is the 15-minute / hourly low. I move my stops to break even because my model's objective is already completed, right? But I have runners targeting the 6-hour low. So you notice how I was able to, break down everything clearly and objectively here for this trade. That's one of the positives here from last week, in my view, right? I was able to identify a higher time frame order flow, and I was able to align my model with that. And in order for me to even take the trade or the model, I have to find an entry pattern, and I was able to find all of those checkpoints in that trade from last week. And another positive here from last week is I stayed away from taking any trades when the indices are not in or not in alignment with each other. So this just basically means that whenever NQ is not aligned with ES, I'm not going to take a trade, right? So if NQ is trading higher or suggesting higher prices and ES is suggesting lower prices, you don't want to be in a part of those market conditions, right? You want to sit on the sidelines and wait for when prices finds some sort of alignment with one another. When NQ is trading higher and ES is trading lower, and vice versa, you don't want to be in those conditions. Third positive here is I'm able to fully accept the fact that I am not in control of the markets. I don't control if the markets go higher or go lower. I'm simply just an observer, right? And what that means is that I'm able to control my strategy. I'm able to control when I execute and when I do not execute. Right? You shouldn't feel the necessity to force anything onto the markets if there's no model that presents itself. If one of my checkpoints here, if one of my criterias for a trade doesn't get met, I'm not going to take it. That's it. And yeah, just don't chase the trade, but allow it to come to you. And that's something that you should apply to life in general too, right? You shouldn't chase anything, like you don't want to force anything to happen, but allow it to come to you. And it's not. I'm not saying that you shouldn't take action, because that's taking action isn't forcing anything. I feel like ChatGPT will explain this better than I can right now, at least. And yeah, some of the negatives here from last week is, not maintaining complete focus, but coming into this week, I will do my best to Hey, what's up, Peter? Did you just wake up? Oh, you're gonna be on. Oh, you're on the video now, Peter.
What?
Yep. You see you? You're right there.
No.
I think you should go outside for a little bit. Hey, close the door for me, okay, Peter? That's my little brother. That's one of my reasons why right there. But yeah, maintaining complete focus, and give the task at hand my entire being. So I'll go over that a little bit more later, but we're about to open up here on the 4-hour candle, or we're about to create a new 4-hour candle right now. And there is that. So based on how we closed here on this 4-hour candle, right? I can anticipate for this 4-hour candle's high to be taken. This high is now my morning objective, right? And let's take a look at the 8-hour time frame as well. So based on this 8-hour candle based on this 4-hour candle and 8-hour candle, just simply taking a look at those two candles, I can anticipate for this candle's high to be taken and this candle's high to be taken. So notice how the 8-hour candle's high and the 4-hour candle's high is the exact same. That just tells me that, hey, we're most likely going to take out this high within the next 4-hour within the next 4 hour, not within the next 8 hours, right? So my morning objective here would be for us to take out this 4-hour candle's high / 8-hour high. But yeah, now all I'm just gonna wait for is some sort of model to take that, right? But this 15-minute candle isn't necessarily suggesting bullish price action, so I'm just gonna wait until I can find a model that really aligns with that specific high. And yeah, this hourly candle here is also suggesting the same idea. So the 4-hour high is actually the same high as the 30-minute, the hourly, the 4-hour, and the 8-hour. So that's very interesting. If we can get some sort of bullish candle closure here on the 50-minute time frame, then I'll consider taking it. If we leave the 4-hour high intact, right? If we still have an objective here on the 4-hour candle, then I'll consider taking something. But as of right now, I'm not going to force anything. And yeah, going back to the pros and cons here. So I finished up positives and negatives. Going on to the improvements here for next week. Taking consistent models. Every single trade that I take, I should be able to explain what the higher time frame order flow is. And a question that you should ask yourself to simplify that concept is, why else should prices continue higher or lower after completing the lower time frame model? And for the example I showed you guys this morning, we should continue lower after we take out the hourly low, because the 6-hour low or the 6-hour candle is suggesting lower prices, right? We should continue lower after taking out hourly low, which is the model, because the 6-hour time frame. And so that's the first thing, higher time frame order flow. Second thing is to be able to identify a model, and third thing is displacement. Displacement and fair value gaps go hand in hand. If there is no fair value gaps, there is no displacement, and if there is no displacement, there is no fair value gap. So they're, I guess, interchangeable, but the meanings of it is a little bit different. The fair value gap is the actual candlestick pattern, and displacement is a concept. And yeah, second thing here, checking for SMT. So like I said before, I don't want to be in conditions where NQ and ES are not trading in tandem. I want to be in conditions where they are in alignment with one another, right? Continue to practice patience. If there is no trade present, then that is completely fine. All you have to do is sit on your hands and wait.
I learned how to use it. Like, it doesn't work. You just have to give it some time. Like, slowly push it down.
Right. Okay. Fourth thing here is complete focus on the task at hand and don't allow there to be distractions. So one of the things that I have been not introduced to, I guess, but is something that I've been trying to keep in mind of and be, I guess, aware to it more often is this specific thought, this specific action that I am doing at this current moment in alignment with my values and goals, right? So I've already kind of went over I know what my values and goals are, but you're not, I guess, that's not enough to know what your values and goals are. It's when you actually have to practice habits and thoughts and actions that are in alignment with your values and goals, right? And I always ask myself, like, hey, is what I am doing currently at this present moment, is it working towards my goals? Am I working towards my goals with this action or this thought? And that keeps me in check, right? And yeah, that basically summarizes my improvements here for next week. And I guess, I mean, it's the end of the week, so, but yeah, those are my improvements and pros and cons. Now, however, I do want to ask ChatGPT for a daily motivational quote, and I'm going to let's see. Should we do Vagabond? Should we do, what book should we do? I'm gonna do I'm going to continue. Can you daily quote based on the manga gigabyte? Alright, so the daily quote here is to walk the path of a warrior. To walk the path of a warrior is to learn every day that the battle is not with others, but with yourself. Here's a breakdown. So, to walk the path of a warrior, life itself is a journey of self-discovery. Like Miyamoto Musashi, we are all on our personal quest to master ourselves. This represents your journey towards, for me, this represents your journey towards financial freedom, personal growth, and mastery of the mind, or of your mind. To learn is to learn every day. So every day offers a lesson, whether it's from success, failure, joy, or struggle. Progress is made through small and consistent steps, much like Musashi's relentless practice in becoming a great swordsman. The battle is not with others, but within yourself. True mastery comes from conquering inner fears, doubts, and distractions, not external opponents. And this is something that even Miyamoto Musashi struggled with, right? He struggled with the fact that he believed that his sole purpose on life was to become the strongest under the heavens, and that he needed to be able to beat anybody in a duel. But that's almost like an external goal, right? He requires, in that specific goal, he requires external validation to be considered, I guess, the strongest under the sun, right? He needs to be able to beat other swordsmen to be considered the strongest under the sun. But as he's developing and going through his journey, he understands that, hey, that whole concept that I'm chasing, that title that I'm chasing, they're just merely words. And there's teachers that he gets or that he crosses, and they're all they tell him like, hey, like there's more to life than just killing, and if you require external validation, you will never find enough, essentially, right? There will always continuously be more opponents, and because his goal requires external validation, he cannot find peace from within, right? He has to find peace from outside, and that's not how peace is achieved. Peace comes from within, like Poe said, Kung Fu Panda, inner peace. Alright, so this quote reminds you to focus on self-improvement and view every day as a chance to grow stronger in your personal quest. Keep walking forward. Your greatest opponent is yesterday's version of you. Alright, and that is the daily quote for today. And if you guys do want to join my Discord, I believe my link is in the YouTube description. And yeah, you guys can join it. I have, I post weekly market outlooks on there, and I occasionally drop intraday, I guess, bias, and I do these daily quotes as well. So here they are. 1/3/2024 daily quote. What you doing, boy? Yeah, I'm gonna get copyrighted.
Huh?
I'm gonna get copyrighted because that's on YouTube.
Now I'm that big.
Alright. Okay, so it seems to me that we just completed the 4-hour objective. So like I said, based on this 4-hour candle, my morning objective was for us to take out this 4-hour candle's high, and I should have already went over why I didn't take this trade. It's because there was no model. I had a objective, right? But because there's no model, I can't take this trade, and that's completely fine. And yeah, hopefully you guys were able to kind of see how I view prices, and if that makes sense with you guys. One thing that I would, I guess, urge for you guys to pay attention to is, if we continue to see bullish price action, I would like to see us get back into this premium of this dealing range here. So I do want to see us in that red box. If we can see bullish candle closures here on the 6-hour time frame and 4-hour time frame. But like I said, today is Friday, so I mean, we could end up trading back inside this 0.2 to 0.3 level. I don't know. I mean, we have already completed the higher time frame objective, and it's a Friday. You know, not really much else for prices to do here, at least on the weekly time frame. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, I will see you guys later.